Okay, let's get into the, I don't got to do the rundown again, but I'm going to do it again. The clear skin, the hair, the fit. You see me. You know what it is. You know what I give. So, I ain't even got to tell y'all no more. Like, I'm just a breath of fresh air. You probably have dreams about me. Honestly. But let's get into the episode. Welcome to the Barbie Life 2.0 podcast. I'm your host, Shakira, aka Barbie 2.0. And today, listen, this whole week, I have been debating between topics because I'm like, I don't have that much time to film so many topics, so I gotta pick between one. But I had to pick this one because I saw it today and I was like, oh my gosh. But tell me why. Diddy has another lawsuit, okay? But this time he's being sued by a man for sexual assault, okay? And apparently he showed him a video of Stevie J having sex with another man, and he touched his genitals and his ass. And that's not even the crazy part, okay? Careesha, yes, Miss Young Miami, is also involved in this. And her cousin is also involved in this, okay? I don't know what's going on. I just see a picture and they're all in the same facility. They're in the same room. And according to the court documents, Young Miami, her female cousins, Diddy, and this man were all in Miami, okay? And apparently Diddy offered him cocaine and he said no. And then he walked to the bathroom and he was taking a piss. And mid-piss, Young Miami's cousin walks in. She starts groping him. And then she drops to her knees and starts sucking his dick. And then he pushed her away and left the bathroom. And she followed him outside the bathroom. And she tried to put him in the straddle position with his legs open so she could have sex with him in front of Diddy and his staff. So Young Miami was present when this was all happening, clearly, because we saw in that picture they were all there. The court documents say they were all there with Young Miami and her female cousins. So this is just very weird. And this is alleged, okay? So I don't want to get sued. Like this is not confirmed to be true, but this is what this man claims. And his name is Mr. Jones. That's what he goes by, at least in the documents. So this is just weird. I'm sorry, but now I'm just thinking about a lot of things. One, I'm thinking about Cassie. Because when Cassie came out and said this stuff, I was just stunned. And people were still making excuses for Diddy and saying that this wasn't true. Or just because he paid, that doesn't mean anything. That he was just trying to protect his brand. I'm like, there's no way y'all still support this man. What? And then I'm thinking about Careesha. Because Miss Young Miami Careesha made some hurtful comments to Cassie as well. Pretty much. She pretty much said, I don't give a fuck what that bitch said about Diddy. It wasn't me. I don't know nothing about that. Imagine, like, we have to, like, think about this like she's a real life person. Okay? Like, we look at celebrities and we kind of just see the fucked up shit that they do. And we kind of excuse it because they're celebrities. And I'm like, no, like, what if she was just Careesha from the block. Literally. Just some girl that you knew. And she was dating a guy who sexually assaulted somebody that you know. One of your friends.
Clock it.
What would you think about that person? What would you think about a person who would make a tweet saying, if I wanted you to eat my coochie, Diddy would have had you on your knees. Hoe. You a eater.
And
what would you think about that person? Because to me, that sounds like a fucked up individual.
Clock it.
That sounds like a girl no one should be supporting. And I understand why JT has gone solo. Bitch, I ain't friendly. I don't fuck with y'all bitches. Try to take who? It ain't enough of y'all bitches. Ho so phony got me looking at him sideways. It'll never be the same, motherfuck the old days. Okay. I understand now. Shoot, a lot of people were saying Sideways had to be like a general song. I think that was about Young Miami. They're close business partners. I've noticed the tension. I've spoke about it on my podcast, but I'm going to speak about it again. But they were on Breakfast Club. And it was like they were competing for a struggle. Young Miami was trying to say that she gets the most hate. And JT just felt offended because Young Miami felt like she gets a lot of hate when people say she can't rap. And Young Miami feels like people hate on her when they celebrate JT. And JT was looking at her like, girl, I put out no bars. It was a good song. People liked it. Like, just because people are celebrating me, that doesn't mean that they're putting you down. People still like your podcast, but people have always known that you can't rap. I don't know why you're letting it get to you now. It's like you're in secret competition with JT. You don't even rap. You don't like rapping. You've always said that. But now that people are celebrating JT, oh my God, everyone's saying I can't rap. Everyone's hating on me. Girl, you have a whole podcast. And on top of it, when I was looking at it, not gonna lie, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is reminding me of, and now I know a lot of people say that Careesha is not light skinned. Okay. I understand that she's not a light skinned woman. She's a light brown woman though. And she does pass the brown paper bag test in some of her pictures. And she does benefit from it in the City Girls. In comparison to JT, she has more of an advantage. And I say that because JT, while I love her, does not chart like Ice Spice, and she doesn't chart as much as Doja Cat. And those are women who she, I believe, maybe not Doja Cat, but she's definitely more talented than Ice Spice. And JT has a lot of talent, but she does barely chart, is what I'm trying to say, with that talent. Meanwhile, Young Miami was able to be in a group where she could basically use JT's talent to build her brand as a personality and get people to fuck with her so much that they actually convince themselves that they like her music and her verses. And on top of it, this girl didn't have to do any work. She doesn't write her raps, so she didn't have to do any work. And all she had to do was do her little, ghetto mannerisms. Talk the way she does, which is very ghetto. Let's be real. We can't understand her sometimes. She needs to go to speech therapy. But she was pretty much allowed to get away with being a horrible rapper while still having a lot of popularity and a lot of notoriety. So she definitely benefited, because if she was dark skinned like JT, nobody would have ever even gave that bitch a chance. Let's be real. Let's be real. And in the beginning of City Girls, I remember Trick Daddy made a comment and he was like, oh, Young Miami's the it girl. Nobody's checking for JT. And everybody was agreeing with him. I saw some people disagreeing, but for the most part, I saw a lot of people agreeing. And they were like, oh, well, Young Miami just has more of a personality. JT doesn't show her personality. So she's boring. And we're like, this is rap. But I feel like the lines got blurred when Cardi B came in the game. Because now we don't know if we want to be artists or influencers. And it's like, baby, come on now. Okay? We are artists. JT does not have to show us her life. She just needs to put out the music. Literally. To this day, that's all we ask her for. Because she can actually rap. Careesha needs to show her lifestyle and all that stuff, because she can't rap. But people were still going in on JT pretty much, saying that she's boring. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. So y'all are going to go in on a dark-skinned girl who is actually talented to uplift a lighter girl who sucks at rapping. But she's funny though. Like, what? It's just, the colorism is right there. And people think colorism is just a light-skinned person versus a dark-skinned person. No. It could be a lighter person versus a person who is a darker shade. That can happen. A brown-skinned person would get more opportunities in the industry compared to a dark-skinned person. It's a system that benefits people who are closer to a whiter skin tone. But the closer you are to a whiter skin tone, you can benefit from it compared to a person with a darker skin tone than you. And in this case, that's what happened with Young Miami and JT. But what I noticed was that in the interview, Careesha kept making it seem like she was the one that got all the hate. And it was like, girl, like, you're walking in a privilege and you don't even see it. And JT's looking at you like you're crazy. Because JT's like, girl, I'm a whole dark-skinned woman who's actually talented, and I get a lot more hate than you. And you sitting over here talking about you get a lot of hate when you still have success and you can't even rap. Like, you shouldn't even be on this chair. You shouldn't even be in this interview. You can't rap.
Clock it.
You shouldn't even be talking about music. You can't rap. The fact that you got that opportunity already shows the privilege you're walking in, baby. The fuck?
Clock it.
But that's just my opinion. Personally. But it did remind me of those light-skinned girls that try to, like, censor themselves around colorism and try to be like, oh, well, I got bullied because I was light-skinned because dark-skinned girls were jealous of me. Or, like, other statements where they're like, oh, light-skinned people experience colorism because we get bullied. And I'm like, listen, I understand the prejudice. That is very real. But colorism is a whole different thing. That is a whole different thing. That is a whole different thing. That is a systemic form of oppression. That is a whole different thing. There's so many layers It's not just bullying. There's too many layers to it. Okay? We're not going to get into it this episode, but y'all know, okay? If you follow me, you already know. Like, I already talked about it. But, yeah. Anyways, I am glad JT quit because she's doing her thing now. Like, we love Sideways. We love No Bars, even though for some reason No Bars is under City Girls brand. Like, when you look it up on YouTube and Apple Music, it's under City Girls instead of just JT because she's the only person on the song. But Sideways is under JT, so that's good. But, yeah. Guess that was her first song, like, officially solo. So, glad that's done because JT is a beautiful woman. And I understand why Careesha was jealous of her because she was jealous of her. Let's be real. When she put out that 50-50 song the same time JT released Sideways, that was like, girl, you have, like, what? Like, that was just so random. Like, I don't know. That was like the same time, girl. That's weird. I'm sorry. Like I said, you just got to look at it like a real life situation. What if your friend did that to you? What, like, it's just, that's jealousy. And I understand why, because look at JT. Like, this girl is a star. She has something that Young Miami doesn't have. Young Miami, yes, she was able to get away with being a horrible rapper because of her lighter skin. But she also had to add other things in the mix, like to distract from her being a horrible rapper. It was her looks on top of her lifestyle. But her lifestyle was pretty much centered around Diddy at one point. And now it's like, girl, he's under hot water. You just look bad. And like JT's new brand is just, it's not even like City Girls. It's like she's just her. And her being her is amazing. She's just a star. Like Young Miami, she just comes off like an Instagram baddie girl. Like typical. Like we could find so many girls on Instagram that wear the same outfits as Young Miami and look just like her. Have the same look, same body. JT is different. She's different. JT has like star quality. She's creative. Like when you look at her photo shoots, like that girl is creative. And her music, like, it's good. It's really good, honestly. But she is gonna struggle because she is a like dark skinned girl, but she did have like the leg up from City Girls, so that's gonna help. But yeah, JT, I'm glad she went solo because Careesha's in some shit. This is horrible. I'm sorry. You getting involved with Diddy, like, you look crazy, girl. Everything you do now just is gonna look trashy. We're just gonna think about the time that you said you like to get pissed on yourself. We're just gonna think about the time that you called a girl an eater and you said that you could get Diddy to like get on her knees. Like, we're just gonna always think about that every time we see you. Like, and now you're involved with this case. You were present while your cousin was groping a man against his will. Like, girl, everything you do now, you're just gonna look trashy. Everything you do. You could be on an Instagram post just posing in a Fashion Nova outfit. And we're just gonna be like, dirty. You ruin your brand. There's no coming back from this, Careesha. There's no coming back from this. I'm sorry. She's too deep in. She hasn't apologized. She hasn't separated. She's too deep in. And now it's like you were present when something was happening. You're over. You're over.
Clock it.
Yeah, I hope y'all do cancel her because y'all gotta hold her accountable because y'all hold other people accountable. Sometimes. Y'all pick and choose is what I'm trying to say. And we're not gonna pick and choose with Young Miami. She needs to be held accountable. This is horrible. Simple as that. She's trashy. Nobody even wants to be like, bro. I don't know if y'all saw the video where they were at a concert and like she was asking Lil Baby, like, can I throw it back on you? And he literally was like, no.
And I
like nobody like you is trashy. That shit is trashy. Like freak offs, girl, that's trashy. Nobody wants to be near that. Y'all gotta cancel her. Like, it's not like she was offering anything else anyways, to be honest. Like, the music is not good. In my opinion, the podcast was never good. In my opinion, listen, I'm not trying to be a hater. Trust me, I would have gave her her 10s if it was a good podcast. My opinion, I didn't think it was interesting. I just felt like all she talked about was sex and sex.
Clock it.
She didn't have interesting questions. Her voice is annoying. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was a good podcast. And I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm dead ass like just giving my honest opinion. But these days, if you have an opinion, you're a hater. When it's like, okay. But that's it for this podcast. I love you guys so much. And I will see you guys very soon. And I know you guys are going to miss me. I'm going to miss you guys too. Like, so I'm going to just like sit here and pose real quick. So, okay. I'm going to go now. Love you guys. Besos.